Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev. So I think we had stopped yesterday. We took a deviation, did shloka number 15, but I think we had started with this. Um, we had started, did we start with shloka 1? I can't remember whether we did first shloka. I think we stopped at here. I will just read a few paras before so we get an understanding. Wait, I think I will. Yeah. Here in the 12th chapter, Arjuna asks the same question in a slightly different form. He wants to know which of the two groups. Before this, do you want to share what we did in the last in the session? It was such a beautiful summary of the whole up until chapter 12. How there was a very nice link between one chapter and the other, and how in the 13th chapter Arjuna suddenly asks six different, he wants to know the definitions of those six different things. So, and what was talked of in the first shataka is the Tvam Pada Lakshartha, and then the second shataka is the Tat Pada Lakshartha. And in the last shataka, we know the connection between these two. Tattvam Asi, the connection between these. And it is nice as we chanting, I think we can also revel in the meaning. Maybe not all the shlokas we will know the meaning, but from to whatever extent we remember, every time we chant, there is a little deeper understanding, isn't it? So that is good. Does anyone else want to share before we start this? So what I found was in the last few shlokas of Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavan says very clearly, he defines who is his beloved. And very clearly, it is all the lakshanas of the jnani that are very dear to Bhagavan. So I think starting from shloka 14, 13 or so, the jnani lakshanas have begun. And he very clearly mentions that he is dear to me. And in the last shloka, he says, even if you follow dharma, if you follow dharma and with shraddha, then also you are ativa priya, ativa me priya. extremely dear to me. So a devotee is someone who is so dear to the Lord. So the requirements are following dharma, to to have the shraddha, the unflinching faith. Yeah. So here in the 12th chapter, Arjuna asks the same question in a slightly different form. He wants to know which of the two groups of people are better. Those who pursue Nirguna Brahma, meaning they pursue the knowledge of Atma being Brahman, free from all attributes, or those who worship the Lord in the cosmic form, which he has just seen in a way. In the 11th chapter, he's seen the Vishwarupa Sandarshana, right? So the Karma Yogi does his duties towards the family, society, his country, and even the Devatas with Ishwararpana Buddhi, and meditates upon Saguna Brahma. None of these duties exists for a sannyasi. His life is one of dedicated pursuit of knowledge, nothing else. He also declares his pursuit with external symbols like Kashaya, the ochre robes, the Rudraksha Mala, and the Kamandalu. He takes sannyasa by performing a stipulated ritual in which he takes an oath that he will no longer be a cause of fear for any living being, including plants, animals, human beings, and all the devatas. He gives abhaya to all of them. He pursues Nirguna Brahma to the exclusion of everything else. So just a pause here. When he gives up, uh, he's no longer a cause of fear for any other living being. This can be translated to uh, he is not a source of disturbance for others. That shloka number 15. So nobody is he doesn't give any chance to anybody to fear him. That is another meaning of that, I suppose. Yeah. And he pursues Nirguna Brahma to the exclusion of everything else. Though the word upasana is used, Nirguna Brahma cannot be meditated upon. It has to be understood. How are you going to meditate upon something free from attributes, which, moreover, is the meditator's swarupa? Nirguna Brahma Upasana is the pursuit of knowledge. Those who meditate upon me as that, tam ye paryupasate, come to me directly. Te mam eva yanti. Te mam eva yanti. They are me because what they are meditating upon is Atma, and I am the Atma of everyone. Knowing that they are me, they are non-separate from me, Bhagavan says. Instead of phrasing his question with reference to their activity, Arjuna has worded it in terms of their meditation. But it is the same question. In terms of lifestyle, Arjuna's question was whether sannyasa was better or karma yoga. But here, the question is asked in terms of topic of meditation. For the karma yogi, the topic is Saguna Brahma, Ishvara. For the sannyasi, it is Nirguna Brahma. What is the difference between this question and Arjuna's questions in the 3rd and 5th chapters? There is no difference. In the 18th chapter, he words it differently, still asking whether Tyaga, meaning Karma Phala Tyaga, is better than Sannyasa. Again, Lord Krishna continues to answer him until at last his questions come to an end. In the 18th chapter, Arjuna says, my delusion is gone. I have recovered my senses. and will do as you say. Nashto mohaha smritir labhva karishye vachanam tava. Because this chapter is called Bhakti Yoga, it is a common misconception that this is yet another yoga. Yoga here, as in all the other chapters, means stopping. There is no independent means called Bhakti Yoga. Normally we think, no, different paths to the divine. One is Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So that is what Swamiji is mentioning. It is not another independent means called Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna has made it clear that freedom is through knowledge, and there are two lifestyles one can adopt while in the pursuit of that knowledge: sannyasa or karma yoga. So it is very clear, it is only through knowledge, that is the last connecting link. But there are two lifestyles, one is that of a sannyasa, one is of a karma yoga. Both have the same end. So, what is achieved by the sannyasi is also accomplished by the karma yogi. The one who sees both of them as the same, a means for one common end, he alone sees. Ekam sankyam cha yogancha yah pashyati sa pashyati. In spite of that, Arjuna wants to know who is better. So going back to the last para, it is not like after being a karma yogi, you become a sannyasi and then you attain knowledge. Karma yoga as well as sannyasa, they're two lifestyles, both of which pursue knowledge. Sannyasa is a different lifestyle where you give up all uh, you're totally detached from the world, you're relieved from all your duties. Whereas a karma yogi does his duty towards his family, his society, his country, while pursuing knowledge. Whereas a sannyasa pursues just knowledge. In spite of that, Arjuna wants to know who is better: the one who pursues Nirguna Brahma, meaning knowledge of Atma, or the one who worships the cosmic form, the Karma Yogi who is doing Saguna Brahma Upasana. The one who worships Ishvara as one who is in the form of the whole universe and conforms to the law of Dharma, looking upon it also as Ishvara, is a Karma Yogi, a devotee. There are a lot of people who follow Dharma, but they do not look upon it as Ishvara. They have understood that what they expect of others is expected of them and act accordingly to avoid conflict. Though they are in conformity with Dharma, they are not karma yogis if they do not accept Ishvara, because when Dharma is not looked upon as Ishvara, there is no Ishvararpana buddhi. The karma yogi, however, not only offers all actions to Ishvara, he meditates upon Ishvara. Both are worshippers of Ishvara. Any ritual like Agnihotra is worship. And if it is combined with Upasana, a mental action, it is an even more efficacious worship. Every form of worship comes under Karma Yoga. Whether it is simple repetition of the Veda or mental repetition of a prayer, it is a karma. So, Karma Yoga is not merely service. It is any activity performed with Ishvara in view, including prayer and meditation. Karma is threefold: mental, oral, and physical. And if you are invoking Ishvara through any one of them, it is Karma Yoga. There is no separate Bhakti Yoga. I repeat this here because the confusion is so rampant. It is a common misconception that there are four yogas: Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Hatha Yoga. But actually speaking, according to Bhagavad Gita, there are only two forms of yoga, two lifestyles, your karma and jnana. A sannyasi renounces all enjoined duties, both what is to be done daily, nitya karma, and what is to be done occasionally, naimittika karma, consisting mainly of rituals and prayers. Besides that, he gives up all duties towards family, society, country, and even devatas. His pursuit is purely knowledge. The karma yogis, on the other hand, are obliged to do the enjoined duties. Therefore, we have two sets of people, the sannyasis or jnana yogis, pursuing knowledge to the exclusion of everything else, and the karma yogis, pursuing knowledge in conjunction with karma as a yoga. So, karma yogi is one who does not just do karma yoga, that is, he does actions with an Ishwararpana buddhi, he also pursues knowledge. Now, supposing there is a bhakti yogi, does he have duties or not? He does daily puja, studies the Puranas, etc., all of which are karmas. So, in what way is bhakti yoga separate from karma? And if he is a real devotee, even when he is doing some other type of action, he does not become a non devotee. A real devotee is a devotee all the time. In order to make that a reality, one does all this puja, etc. How can we say that a karma yogi does not have bhakti? For a karma yogi, there is no act, which is not an act of worship. As I said, even an ethical person, however esteemed he may be, is not a karma yogi if he does not accept Ishvara. He has to be a matkarmakrit, one who sees dharma as Ishvara and does all action for the sake of Ishvara. We can never say that this karma yogi is without bhakti, and neither is any sannyasi without bhakti, because sannyasa is only to know Ishvara. There is no bhakti yogi. Lord Krishna has said, Lokesmin dvivida nishta. In this world, there are two committed lifestyles for moksha, that of a sannyasi and that of a karma yogi. Not understanding this, there are those who claim that there are four types of people with one yoga for each type. They say for those who are intellectual, there is jnana yoga, for the emotional bhakti yoga, for the extrovert karma yoga, and for the dullard hatha yoga. We are all intellectual, and who does not have emotions? Who is not an extrovert? Even the most introverted person has some extroverted activities. And who does not need some exercise? Asanas are done by sannyasis, by karma yogis, and by anybody who wants to keep his body fit. Which of these is not meant for everyone? It is very clear that the problem lies in not understanding what sannyasa is, what karma yoga is, what jnana is, and what moksha is. It is not bhakti yoga that is presented here, but bhakti, and in particular, Saguna Brahma Upasana. Introducing the chapter, Shankara says from the second chapter to the 10th on Vibhuti Yoga, the pursuit of Paramatma, which is Brahman, that is not subject to change, Akshara, in which all upadhis are negated and which is without any guna, was discussed. But besides that, Ishvara's vibhutis were also pointed out, his Aishwarya, overlordship, omniscience, and so on. That Ishvara who was there in the beginning and who is in the form of the entire Jagat was shown in the 11th chapter as the one to be meditated upon by those karma yogis who are mat karma krita. Arjuna now has a question about this. Arjuna uvacha evam satata yuktaye bhaktasvam paryupasate echapyaksharamavyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Arjuna uvacha said, E bhaktaha, those devotees who evam satata yuktaha are constantly committed in this manner, tvam paryupasate, meditate upon you, echa api, and also those who, tvam paryupasate is understood, seek you, aksharam, who is not subject to decline, avyaktam, who is not available for objectification, tesham, among them, ke, who, yoga vittamaha, are the greatest knowers of knowledge or greatest knowers of yoga. Arjuna said in this manner, there are those devotees who constantly committed, meditate upon you, and also those who seek you as one who is not subject to decline and not available for objectification. Among them, who are the greatest knowers of yoga? After seeing the Vishwarupa, Arjuna asked this question based upon what he saw. His question proves that the vision did not solve his problem. He still maintained a division. Here, Arjuna wants to know who is superior, a karma yogi who is doing upasana or a jnani. The karma yogi is doing meditation upon the Vishwarupa. The sannyasi is contemplating on Akshara Parabrahma. One who pursues Saguna Brahma and the other Nirguna Brahma. One pursues Saguna Brahma and the other Nirguna Brahma. Which is better? The question has certain implications. It is not who is more exalted among these two, but rather who is closer to moksha. Evam reveals a connection to what was said earlier. The reference, Shankara says, is to the previous verse in which Bhagavan talked about the karma yogi as mat karma krita, etc. By saying evam, Arjuna brings to Lord Krishna's mind what was said in the last verse of the previous chapter. Satatam means constantly. Yukta means committed. Those who are constantly engaged in this manner, evam satata yuktaha, performing all actions for Bhagavan, living a committed life of karma yoga as explained in the previous verse. They are bhaktaha, devotees, because they perform karma with Ishwararpana buddhi, looking upon dharma as Ishvara. Defining bhaktas, Shankara says, Ananya Sharanaha, those for whom there is no other refuge. Others, the Artharthis, use Bhagavan to assist them in their accomplishments. Their Sharana refuge is in money, power, and so on, and not in Ishvara. But those who are desirous of liberation, who are bhaktas, find their refuge only in Ishvara. Gaining him is moksha for them. Besides doing karma, they meditate paryupasate upon Bhagavan as one who is everything, as was shown in the Vishwarupa Darshana. This chapter reveals many things, but it can be the most confusing chapter in the Gita. Understanding it requires a lot of background. You must know what is upasana, dhyana, karma, yoga, and jnana to understand it. What is said here could not have been said earlier because all these things have to be covered. The karma yogis who meditate are one group. The other group, he says, are those who pursue Brahman, that is not subject to change, akshara, and not available as an object, avyakta, which is the nature of Atma. Of these, Arjuna wants to know who are the ones who are nearer to moksha. So, going back to this previous para, this chapter can be the most confusing, and understanding it requires a lot of background. So, we need to know what dhyana, karma, yoga, and jnana, all these are. And I think all these are covered in the previous chapters, no? From chapter 2 onwards, of course. 2, 3, 4, 6, dhyana yoga. Anyway, so since we started chapter 12, we'll continue now.
Yeah, I think the dhyana and yoga you read in the little about this is not part of it, right? I mean, it's a process that we do.
Correct.
Basically, karma yoga and jnana yoga is
Correct.
bottom line, and the upasana and dhyana and yoga is maybe related to those three gunas that we have. Like how we improve that gunas to overcome that and then get to this point.
Yeah, that is
But
true.
yeah, but like as I said, like I read this before. We need to clarify all this properly.
Yeah, that is why it is nice to do
Mm.
it in a train. I mean, we finished chapter 2, chapter 3 would have been ideal, but I think
Yeah,
consensus was to do
because
chapter.
of karma yoga, right? Because the karma
Yeah,
yoga is the bottom line for
bottom
us.
line.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Well,
That's fine. Then no
we
problem.
are
We'll go
here,
with chapter
so
12 now.
yeah.
And then it's difficult to keep up with Nana. Nana is not going after maybe 2 days from now, he's going to start chapter 13. And we would
Yeah,
not
yeah.
have completed chapter 12 by then. So it'll be like bits and pieces for us. So
Mm.
I would think, I mean, this is my opinion, is that um,
We had to revamp the whole thing from the beginning, after we're done with it. But for now, we can catch up whatever we can and as we go on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't hear me, Vela?
Hariom. Yeah, I think maybe my internet it's very very shaky. I'm not
Oh,
able, I did not hear at all. Anyway, no problem, Brahmaraji. I will go back to recording.
maybe,
Uh,
yeah, what you can do is just log out and log in again. And if you
Sometimes it helps. Yeah.
if you have logged in from your phone and you've got a call
okay.
coming in, then the audio automatically becomes low.
No,
So,
no. This phone is India phone. It does. The phone is off in this phone.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Just a request, Brahmaraji. Second Shatka synopsis. Could you please share on the
Yeah,
group?
yeah, I will share.
Yeah, thank you. Dhanyavad.
So the karma yogis, yeah, we finished this, no, of these. Saguna Brahma, Nirguna Brahma. Throughout the Gita, Brahman is described as Akshara, that which is not subject to decline. Na ksharati iti aksharam, and avyakta, that which is free from all upadhis, because it has no attribute. But earlier in the 10th and 11th chapters, it was described as having attributes. Saguna Brahma. Do we have two Brahmans? No. We have only one Brahman whose Swarupa is Nirguna, free from everything, pure consciousness. It becomes Saguna because of the Upadhi of Maya. Saguna Brahma has attributes. Nirguna Brahma does not have. This is the difference. Avyakta can mean that which is not manifest or that which is not available as an object. What is unmanifest can be the cause, Maya. The Karana Maya is unmanifest and therefore Avyakta. But here Shankara gives the meaning of avyakta as that which cannot be objectified. Akara, akarana gochara. Akarana gochara. An object of the senses or mind, the instruments of knowing, is called karana gochara. What is not an object of the instruments of knowing is akarana gochara. That is not to say it cannot be known. It is just not an object of the instruments of knowing. An object is something other than yourself, which you come to know through various means of knowledge. But this is you, and therefore not an object. Anything not available for objectification is avyakta. Shankara makes a note about the origin of the word. The word vyakta has the meaning of that which is manifest. It is derived from the root anj, v plus anj, vyanj, which has the meaning of to manifest, to be available for objectification. Therefore, anything that is manifest and is available for objectification is called vyakta. And anything that is not available for objectification is called avyakta. Atma is not an object of anything. It is always the subject. Therefore, it is said to be avyakta. Avyakta does not mean it is unknown, only that it is not an object. It is always the Chaitanya Swarupa, the subject. The question is between these karma yogis who are seeking Nirguna Brahma and the karma yogis doing their karmas with Ishwararpana Buddhi and meditating upon Saguna Brahma, who is better? In fact, the superlative affix tama is used. Who are the best? What is the meaning of best here? What Arjuna wants to know is who are nearer to moksha. The jnani is not to be compared to the karma yogi. The Gita looks upon the sannyasi as a jnani because he is committed only to jnana. And Krishna has said the jnani is himself. Jnani tu atmaiva me matam. A comparison between him and the karma yogi is not valid. Krishna is going to say the karma yogis, those who meditate upon Saguna Brahma, are better off. Introducing the next verse, Shankara has this to say. Those, however, who are contemplating upon Akshara Brahma and who therefore have a clear vision of Brahman and are free from the three types of desires, are to be left alone. They are already sannyasis. So let us not talk about them here because, as Bhagavan has said, they are myself. There is no comparison between them and the karma yogis at all. It is legitimate to compare those karma yogis who are doing upasana with those who are not. That is kevala karma yogis. Karma is duty and daily worship. Upasana is meditation. Though upasana is also worship, it is mental worship. So we consider it separately. The karma yogi has Ishwararpana Buddhi and recognizes Ishvara as the karma phala data, the giver of the fruits of actions, and karmadhyaksha, the one who presides over the law of karma. Recognizing Ishvara, he does his karma, but whether it is oral or physical, it is not meditation. When the action is purely mental, with Saguna Brahma as the object, it becomes meditation. If it were just mental activity, then worry also would be meditation. In order to distinguish upasana from karma, it is defined as Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. Activities common to both. So, this is the definition of of meditation according to Shankara. Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. This is also an activity. The upasana, is though it is mental, it is also activity. But Krishna says, if you want to compare a karma yogi who is just doing activity versus a karma yogi who is doing upasana. In performing Agnihotra, there is Saguna Brahma.
What is Vyapara? Is it?
Vyapara is activity, is
Oh, okay. Like we normally say Vichara is like more like a inquiry, right? Which Vishaya Vyapara means
Vyapara is where uh, you are dwelling on
from
something.
related to
Yeah,
activity.
you're
Oh,
thinking about it. Saguna
okay.
Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara. Your mind is
Mind
involved,
is thinking
crossed,
involved. Okay.
crossed or involved in that.
Mhm. Mm. So
So,
they're doing Agnihotra or the either you chant or meditate, that's a manasa vyapara.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So in performing Agnihotra, there is Saguna Brahma Vishaya Vyapara. Because you're doing something external and it is in the form. There is a form.
Objectification of the Brahman, right? In that
Right,
case.
right.
Okay. Mhm.
The difference is in meditation, it is purely a manasa vyapara. In a
Mm.
ritual, it is not. Therefore, so in meditation, there is nothing to do with the ritual. It is only a mental activity.
Mentally, yeah. Mhm.
Therefore,
Mm.
whenever you see the word upasana or sometimes dhyana, it means meditation. Those who are karma
Mm.
yogis
Okay.
and combine their daily karmas with meditation on Ishvara will be said here as yuktatmas. Yuktatma is someone who is committed to the Atma Vishya. That is the
Mm.
ones who are combining their daily karmas and
With
with meditation on
meditation.
they are connected to Ishvara throughout. Yuktatma.
With meditation on Ishvara. Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Activity as well as meditation. Both. The
Mm.
sannyasis are not available for such comparison. Suppose someone wants to get a degree. You cannot say those who have gained the degree are superior. You leave them out of comparison altogether. It is the same with a sannyasi. He is as good as Akshara Brahma. So, the question of superiority does not arise. That is the end you want to be. That is why Shankara says, Tavat Tishtantu. Leave them alone. Bhagavan will talk about them later. Now, he talks about the two types of karma yogis in the next verse. Whereas Arjuna has constantly been asking about the comparison between sannyasa and karma yoga throughout. Because sannyasi is like already attaining your degree. He's equivalent to Akshara Brahma. So it is already the goal. Whereas Arjuna's doubts were always about which is better, this or that. But Shankara says, Tavat Tishtantu. Sannyasis have already reached. They're there. Leave them alone and they will. Bhagwan is now going to talk about the two types of karma yogis. So shall we start this tomorrow? 6:45.
For the Akshara, the meaning was, what did it say? One who is not seen, or I
No.
know the
Kshara,
Avyaktam is not
Kshara,
objectified. Uh-huh.
yeah. One
Okay.
which does not get declined. It does not exhaust. that which is
Oh.
kshara iti na asti iti akshara. Kshara is something that
Yeah.
gets exhausted. Something that
Oh,
does not
okay.
get exhausted is akshara.
Okay. It's more like a limitless or something, like
Yeah,
not get
limitless,
exhausted.
not getting
Mhm.
exhausted.
Okay. Okay, for tomorrow. Yeah.
We'll
I
start
don't know
with
what
Shri
time it
Bhagavan
is.
Vacha from tomorrow.
Okay.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Hari Om. Jai Gurudev.
Om
Jai Gurudev Brahmaraji. Hari
Jai
Om.
Gurudev.